Well, boys, the holidays are here. Merry Christmas to anyone who celebrated, and what better way to spend it than baking cookies for good old Grandma Eva? Okay, in all reality, this video is going to be your guide to farming Dawning weapons as a solo player. With the methods I'm going to be going over in this video, you're going to be able to crank out Dawning weapons like it's nobody's business, all while being a solo player. If you haven't seen my video on all the Dawning weapon god rolls, and I recommend you go do that after this video, I have it linked down below. But before we get started farming all these weapons, if you're new and only if you enjoy my content, then feel free to subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Okay, to the video. So in order to get your filthy little hands on Dawning weapons, you're gonna need to do a few things. First is to acquire the holiday oven. Second is to gather ingredients. Third is to take those ingredients, put them in the oven to make cookies. And finally, give whatever cookie you made to its corresponding vendor and hope and pray that they give you a gift in return. The holiday oven is acquired via Eva. You literally can't miss it. Once you have the oven, inspect it. The top row is going to have two options. The first is going to be the cookies themselves. And don't worry, I'm not going to sit here and read all the recipes for every cookie in hopes of getting this video to 8 minutes. Now, if you've never participated in the Dawning in like previous years, then all you'll see is question marks. But if you hover over those question marks, it will tell you what the cookie is and the ingredients needed to make it. Every cookie requires 3 ingredients. 1 ingredient from killing certain enemy races, 1 ingredient from how you kill said enemies, and finally, essence of Dawning. The other option in the first row is masterworking your oven. This can only be done once you have baked/discovered every cookie, so none of the cookies can be question marks. Masterworking your oven decreases the amount of essence of Dawning needed per cookie from 15 to 10. We'll talk about essence of Dawning more in just a second. Now, the second row in the oven is the first 2 ingredients that I just mentioned for baking cookies. This row will tell you how to get each ingredient. So if you're trying to bake a cookie and you don't know where you get a certain ingredient, just check here. Okay, so with the oven out of the way, let's talk about which cookies you're going to want to bake because, well, baking some cookies are just easier than others. You have 2 options. Both options only require one thing, and that's the exotic weapon Trinity Ghoul. So, option number 1 is the one that most of you all have probably heard about, and that's strange cookies. Strange cookies require electric flavors, which are acquired by defeating enemies with arc damage, and taken butter, acquired by defeating, well, taken enemies. Also, they are turned into Zur, which in previous years could only be done when he was in the game, so like on the weekends. But now that he's in his treasure hoard like 24/7, well, you can just stuff cookies down his face to your heart's content. The absolute best way to farm both of these ingredients at the same time is by going to Throwaway in Shattered Throne. Now, there are 2 Throwaways in Shattered Throne, and in my opinion, if you're not AFKing, then they're both practically the same. It's just one doesn't require you to beat a boss. Like one of the throwaways, you have to beat the ogre boss. I'll link a video down below that I made about a year ago on how to solo your way up to the first throwaway with relative ease. Seriously, if you think that you can't solo it, just try it. I bet that you can, okay? I have faith in you. Once you're there, just stand where I show in the video and just keep shooting your Trinity Ghoul. You'll start racking up the taken butter and electric flavor like crazy. But if soloing the Shattered Dungeon isn't something that you're too keen on doing, and like I mentioned, you should definitely try it because I guarantee you can do it, well, there is another way. Option number 2 is going to be baking Etherical Coldsnap. This cookie requires chitin powder, which is acquired by defeating Hive, and electric flavor, which, like I mentioned earlier, is via arc kills. Etherical Coldsnap is given to Varix on Europa. With Trinity Ghoul, we have the electric flavor part down, but we need a place to farm Hive for chitin powder. Well, look no further than Altar of Sorrows on the Moon. Altars is extremely straightforward and almost no setup required. Anytime I load into this part of the moon, there's always people doing it, so just hop in and start farming. Hives spawn in waves, so you always have plenty to kill. Seriously, they all spawn at like one specific spot, so just sit there continuing to spam your Trinity Ghoul at that one specific spot. Seriously, if you're not using Throwaway in Shatter, then this is your next best option, especially if you're a solo player. Okay, so now that you know which cookies to farm and how to farm them stupid fast, what about Essence of Dawning and Dawning Spirit? Well, I have discussed Essence in its own video, which I'll link below. It's not lures, okay? It's better than lures, I promise. It's literally thousands of Essence per hour once you get the strat down. Check it out. So now for donning spirits. Well, the best way is while you're farming your ingredients, throw on the Starfarer ship. If you have this ship on with the upgrade spirit of the season, then anytime you get an ingredient, you'll have a chance to get a donning spirit. Now, if you played the Dawning 2020, then you'll probably have this ship already, but if not, then there is a way to get it. Anyone can acquire it via Eva. It's on her second page, and you must complete the intro quest for the donning. The one that, you know, has you take a cookie to Zavala and then like buy an upgrade from her. Once you have the ship, the upgrade for it becomes available from Eva. It'll literally be in the same exact spot where the ship was when you bought it. And of course, you're going to want to buy the upgrade as well. Just having the ship on throughout the donning will net you tons of donning spirit with little to no effort. Seriously, I haven't actually like farmed donning spirit. I just have a ton because I've just been using the ship throughout the entire event. Once you have your cookies made and are stuffing them down either Xur or Varrix's throat, you'll have a chance to receive a gift in return. From my experience, you'll get a gift in return about 1 in every 6 to 7 cookies turned in. Now, you could just open these gifts for a chance at one of the 4 donning weapons, or you could take the gifts to Eva and focus them. Now, before I talk about how to focus them into whatever weapon you want, you first need to buy 2 upgrades from Eva, okay? Make sure you do this. I remember I turned in a ton of cookies and forgot to buy these upgrades. The 2 upgrades I'm talking about are Perky Presence and Perkier Presence. With these 2 upgrades, you have a chance to get multiple perks in columns 3 and 4, aka the important columns, on your donning weapons when they drop. This is just going to give you a better chance of getting the god rolls that you want. The upgrades are only about 40 spirits each, so yeah, pick them up ASAP. Now for focusing gifts, well, go to Eva, and under the Gifts of Dawning Presence, you'll see 2 gift boxes. Literally just read what it says when you hover over it. If you want a chance at whatever weapon that it says, you know, that is contained within it, then, you know, trade your gift in for that box. And on top of the gift being traded in, you also need to pay 5 spirits for it. But yeah, that's essentially the best way to farm donning weapons as a solo player. I've actually been doing this since the donning started, and I've managed to get pretty much all the god rolls. So yeah, it definitely works, and it's pretty easy. I know that there's, you know, crazy methods and builds out there that involve going AFK with Devour on Warlock or Sunspot on Titan, but you don't really need to do those, as just 20 or 30 minutes of farming can net you tons of cookies, which in return can net you tons of weapons. I haven't AFK'd a single time throughout this entire event, and like I just mentioned, I have pretty much all the god rolls. So yeah, you seriously don't need to AFK, or if you think the only farming method is by AFKing, well then you're wrong. It's not. You can easily get a ton of ingredients by just 20 or 30 minutes of, you know, just your time. But yeah, with all that being said, if you enjoyed the video, then feel free to slap a like on it and comment down below what your favorite Christmas movie is. I'll pin mine down below, and if anyone says that it's not a Christmas movie, okay, I swear to God, I'm gonna lose it. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.